My name is Søren Lund and I'm the CEO at TimeLog. TimeLog produces a software that manages time tracking, project management and invoicing for consultancy companies in Europe basically. We have today 500 customers and 10,000 users running on this system, which is a software as a service system. The annual growth for TimeLog have been 20% for the last 2 years. Before we went to Vedel IT, we had a product development team, which is quite usual for a Danish minor software company, with 4 developers located here in Copenhagen, doing the daily work together, talking together in a standard way, based on partially Scrum management, but also more traditional project management as the process we used. We went offshore for 2 reasons basically. We needed access to the right resources quickly. The decision of going offshore was made 4 years ago, and at that time in particular Denmark was a country with not enough IT resources of the right kind for us. So we had to go somewhere else to have a bigger department within R&D basically.
We wanted to outsource to gain a bigger market of developers. That meant easier access to many resources. The alternative was to grow the development department at a slower pace, spending more time on recruiting new developers.
The other reason was that we would like to reduce our costs into R&D because developers in Denmark are expensive, and we needed somehow a way to get a lower cost on the development, and that was the offshore reason that we had. Reduced our cost approximately by half today compared to having a developer in Denmark.
It's not the cheapest place to go, but as we are doing standard product development, it's very important that we have people who is good at understanding the business logic of the product, and also people who are interested in staying with us for a long time.
We chose Vedel IT both because it was situated in Malaysia, and we saw from an evaluation that Malaysia is a good country for us to work together with because the cultural differences are not that big. So that was one reason. The other reason was that we had a good chemistry with the management team in Malaysia and the salespeople in Denmark from Vedel IT. So we basically found those guys the right ones to go with.
There were several things that made us go with Vedel IT. The way they recruit, they headhunt people, meaning it's not people who shop around for the best job position. When we need a new developer, we can ask Vedel to find one for us, and that will bring us the developer in the quality we want, in the time we want it. Vedel IT offered to build a standard development team, building a team for TimeLog exclusively, and since we're building a standard product, it's very important for us to have people for a long time which are interested in standard development. So that was why we chose Vedel.
Going offshore in Malaysia, the team we set up was quite unusual for development companies, since we started hiring a tester and a developer as the 2 first people we put in the team. We would like to have the test offshore so that we can have tests performed at night while we are sleeping, and then have the results ready for next day's work. Today the team is with 4 people, 3 developers and 1 tester, and the team is managed by 1 team manager.
It's important to have senior developers that can work independently here, since we're not on the location all the time. And with the time difference, they have to be able to perform independently. So that's very important for us, to have people who can think independently and who has, who is able to speak up when they feel that there are things they can be done better. I haven't found any cultural differences that have been an obstacle, so I don't feel it's interrupting the way we work together.
Since we started with Vedel IT, the improvement we've had on the development side is that all the processes. One thing, when you're a small company having developers in Denmark, you can run with a quite low set of processes in the R&D work. Starting up offshore, TimeLog have been forced to structure its way of working much more so that we can have 2 teams working distributed in an easy way and with a high performance. So that's one of the big changes that TimeLog have had starting offshore, basically, to be more structured in the processes. When you look at going offshore, of course, cost is one of the things you look at. And as we see it, the cost on a Malaysian developer is probably one of the highest when you go offshore, but what you get is a much better cultural collaboration between Danes and Malaysians. So from that perspective, we get to developers having a high efficiency with a low demand of management. So basically we see that we get more on the Malaysian developer per cost than we do on the Danes on the core development.